It's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure to have all of you here today. I thought you all might begin your tour here.
It is a great pleasure having you all here today. Welcome to eCommerce and Carry On. My name is Phil Lay.
And I'm Chris Morley. And today, eCommerce and Carry On is coming to you live from Shop Talk in Melbourne.
We'll be speaking to Miles Clements from In Demand,
Simon Arnold of the Deals Direct Group,
and Steve Vallis from the Honey Bar. Let's get into it.
So I've got Miles Clements of In Demand here with me tonight. How are you, Miles?
Great to be here, Chris. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So you've been trading on eBay since it was a baby here in Australia. How have you seen it evolve to 2012?
Oh, it's come in leaps and bounds. It used to be a C2C auction oriented. Now it's totally volume play for large sellers, very oriented towards that. And unfortunately, the old consumers have left the C2C players.
Yeah, and you've also been involved in off eBay for a number of years as well. How is that different from eBay and that evolution?
Depends on which market you are. So we find in Australia, the main game is still eBay.
Yep.
Go to America, it's Amazon, Walmart.com, Target.com, but in Australia it's still eBay. One of the best developments for us has been that eBay purchased Magento, which is a major space for us. So we're now doing eBay as well as Magento, and that then feeds into Facebook and Amazon, etc.
Sorry, Trevor, you're making a great little platform for your businesses to get some more people with. And what will be the next big thing for the online seller? Like, where do you see this space sort of going to? What's the next big trend?
It's a good question, Chris. I think it's going to just be a continuation of the multi-channel. So in Australia, let's focus on Australian marketplace first. More of eBay, more of Magento, more of Facebook and social media sales and what have you. I don't think there's going to be any huge new paradigm, but this Magento play has been significant.
Yeah.
And all those eBay sales will feed into Magento, which will feed into other platforms. And so it's just more of the same for the next 2-3 years, we think.
And at In Demand, you're all over Magento and eBay, aren't you?
We are. We have a focus within Magento Go, which is a cut-down version of the Magento Community and Enterprise. The reason we like it is it's all hosted. You lose your data, which happens on Magento Community. It's still hosted, so you can do a backup. You're not captive to a developer all the time, but there's a limitation. It's 10,000 SKUs. Now, some of our clients have 100,000 SKUs. Then no, Magento Go is not going to work for those.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Up to the 10,000 certainly works great.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, Miles, thanks very much for joining us tonight on eCommerce and Carry On. So I'm here with Simon Arnold from Deals Direct Group. Simon, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Simon, big year at Deals Direct. How are you guys shaping up for Christmas?
Look, it's going to be a bumper Christmas for us. I think that with online now becoming mainstream, everybody's going to be shopping online, getting their presents delivered early. We've implemented a couple of new strategies to help with that.
Yep.
One of them is that we're doing sort of next day shipping guaranteed in Sydney and Melbourne. So to get to most of the population and get your products. You can shop up until later. That's always been the online problem.
Yeah.
Shop later in the year and get your products still in time for Christmas.
That's brilliant. You touched on mainstream. You guys have gone on to mainstream media a bit on TV. You're one of the only pure play online sellers to do this. How was the decision taken and how's it been?
Look, I think the decision wasn't taken lightly, but it was one of those things that for us it was a branding exercise as well.
Yep.
We did TV ads a few years ago. I think it was 2009 or 2010. But this year the decision was made to go and do some more TV branding just to get our image, our name out there a little bit more, and also obviously to drive some traffic and some sales.
Yeah. Now I know you're a huge fan of the show, so let's help our other viewers. What's going to be the next big trend with online sales? What are we likely to see?
Look, I think that the future for online, or the next big thing for what we're looking at now is there's two things. One is the click and collect.
Yep.
The click and collect is going to be very, very big on a number of different levels, because that will bring some of the offline retailers online in a way that they can actually understand. And I think marketplaces is the next also big step. So marketplaces is going to eat the world, basically.
Well, you heard it here first. Thanks very much, mate.
I'm with Steve Vallis, the owner of the Honey Bar and Restaurant, where we're coming live from tonight for Shop Talk. Steve, I see you at conferences all around the world, e-commerce conferences, online conferences. What are you doing at this event? You're a bar owner. I mean, what's going on?
It's become a particularly important part of the business. I figure the only way you can really reach people nowadays is to establish a connection. And if I waited on the street corner for them to show up, I think I'd be waiting for a long time. So social allows me to reach out to people rather than just sitting back passively.
And when you talk about social, I noticed you're like pretty active on Twitter. What are some of the key points you need to engage in Twitter to actually have an audience?
I think you need to actually care about people's stories. So it's less for us about the bar and more about other things that are happening in other people's lives. The bar sits here, we can be a backdrop, but for the most part, people care that you care.
So you're not broadcasting, you're actually engaging with the audience on Twitter.
Absolutely. We don't talk about the business. I find the business is relatively boring to talk about. So for us, it's about the stories that happen around the business, and I've been astounded at the number of connections that have been made by people who have either found the bar, found us, found each other through that process.
So it's not, Twitter is a free platform, but it's not really free because you've got to invest time in this.
Absolutely. I think initially everyone thought I was crazy for doing it, and it filled gaps. I walked and tweeted, I sat at home on the couch and tweeted, but it's become such an important part of the business for us now that I get a lot of personal enjoyment from it. I get to understand where people are at in their lives, happy, sad or otherwise, and it helps me when I can't sleep at night as well. I've got someone to chat to in the wee hours of the morning.
So you're attending these events around the world, going to these conferences. What are you hoping to achieve from that? What do you get from that?
I find that if you stay looking at the same thing, the narrowness of the vision that most people have in any business means that you can't grow particularly well. So I've found that I go to a place that in theory I really probably shouldn't be at, and I find that by looking at things through a different frame of reference, I find things that can help the business everywhere I go.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us on eComm and Carry On.
Thanks.
Cheers. Well, thanks for joining us on eComm and Carry On this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. It's been a fantastic night here at...
It has. Look, Simon and Arnold did a great job, and we got some really terrific insights. I hope you really got a lot out of those interviews from the really experienced e-commerce players.
Fantastic, and we look forward to seeing you again next week, and
don't forget to subscribe.
see you next week.